Well, good evening there, folks, and welcome to another episode of 162 Times, your daily baseball recap and preview show. I'm your host, Daniel Turner. Welcome to episode 73 of 162 Times. Boy, time sure flies, eh? Here we are talking about the 73rd game of the Seattle Mariners and most other major league teams at this point. Super fun. Super fun to bring you this show on most days. What we've got for you today is a good one. We will talk about Game 3 of 3 that Seattle played at home against the Texas Rangers on Sunday. There is no game to preview tonight because the Mariners are off on Monday night, but we will talk about the upcoming 3-game series that the Mariners are playing in Cleveland, and that is the first 3 games of a 9-game road trip they're about to embark on. Then they will go to Florida, and they will play both the National League Florida Marlins and the American League Tampa Bay Rays on the road. But we'll have a preview of Ichiro Suzuki's favorite place to go in the whole world, Cleveland. I'm kidding, of course. But we will bring you that preview. And then, given that it's a Monday, it's time for the Sunday on a Monday recap. So we will, of course, look at the scores from a busy Sunday in baseball. But we will also do a divisional roundup. So, stay with us. And I should mention that my softball team, the Monday night team that I play on, had a great game tonight, and we beat the top team in the league, 19-15. It was a really nice evening. It was hot. It was like 30 degrees. But everybody toughed it out, and we came away with the victory, and that was pretty sweet. And it was really dusty on the field because there hadn't been much rain, and so all the dust was coming up. And the other place in the world that must have been dusty was T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington, site of Game 3 between the Mariners and the Texas Rangers, because the Mariners got the brooms out, and they swept all those dusty Rangers back down to Texas. Get along, little dogies. It was a 5-0 win for the Mariners, meaning they swept the Texas Rangers 3-0 in their 3-game series. The 5-0 victory moves the Mariners to 43-31 on the season. That is first place in the American League West. Way to go, boys. The loss drops Texas to 33-38, second in the American League West Division. The wins and losses went to the starters. It was a 5-0 game, so there was no save awarded. Overall, the Rangers only had 2 hits, committed no errors, and scored no runs. The Mariners had 6 hits for 5 runs. The winning pitcher was none other than Logan Gilbert, who has been one of the most consistent and hardest-working pitchers in the major leagues this season. He is now 4-4, despite all that good work, and has a 2.93 ERA on the season. The loss went to Dane Dunning, he of the Rec Specs. I believe that's his second loss to the Mariners already this season. He's now 4-6 on the year with a 4.73 ERA. In terms of the pitching lines, Logan Gilbert was masterful. He went 8 full innings. Gave up only 2 hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks. He struck out 9 and obviously allowed no home runs. He did all that excellent work in 101 pitches. Really, really impressive stuff. Losing pitcher Dane Dunning. Third night in a row that a Texas Ranger starting pitcher does not get to 5 innings. Dunning did 4 2/3. He gave up 4 hits in those innings. 2 runs, 2 of them earned. 3 walks, struck out 8. No homers given up. The Mariners bullpen report, well, they had used one guy, and it was Austin Voth, like both. He did the 9th. He pitched a clean inning, no walks, no Ks, no business. On the Texas bullpen side, they used Latz, Leclerc, and Wynn. Latz went an inning and a third, struck out 2. Leclerc went 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 K, and a homer given up. And Wynn, 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 walk, and a strikeout. Overall, Mariners struck out 9 Rangers, and the Rangers struck out 12 Mariners, which is very typical and a little concerning, but nonetheless, victory for the Mariners. How did we get there in terms of the scoring? Well, it was in the bottom of the 4th that Luke Raley doubled, scoring Mitch Haniger, 1-0 Mariners at that point. Then there was a terrific sequence in the bottom of the 5th where Josh Rojas doubled. Great double by Rojas, just a beautiful swing. And then he's standing on second, and Dunning spikes a pitch. It smacks the brick wall behind home plate, and it caroms off the tee in T-Mobile and takes like a hard left turn and goes up the first baseline. Rojas was easily at third. He sort of hesitated, but then turned on the jets, came home, face first slide, just got a fingertip in under the tag. 2-0 Seattle. Texas challenged. They were not successful. Then, bottom of the seventh, Tyler Locklear, his second homer of the year, a money insurance shot. 3-0 Seattle at that point. Sign this kid up, man. I don't want to send him back down. I like Ty France, but maybe we get Ty to DH some, give Cal some more days off, have Mitch catch George. I don't know what we're going to do, but I wouldn't send this kid down because first of all, there's just something about him. I'm going to say it. He's got a way about him on defense. He's got a spring in his step. He's got a bit of swagger, and he's been hitting big home runs. And like he hit that home run off Garrett Crochet. Like Garrett Crochet is like the second best pitcher in the American League on the worst team in the anyway. Whatever. Like all I'm saying is it's going to be tough to send this kid down when Ty gets healthy again. So that was 3-0. Then bottom of 8, Dom Canzone singles in Ryan Bliss, 4-0. And then that moved Luke Raley to third, and next thing you know, there was a wild pitch, and Luke Big Thunder Raley motored home to score the fifth run of the game. That was all Seattle needed. 5-0 is your final. Really, really, really good stuff. I saw one of the big radio personalities in Seattle talk about how Texas was getting pumped today, because they were, at least the last time I checked. Can't remember where they're playing. We'll capture that for you in a couple days, or tomorrow rather. But, I think the implication is that Seattle kind of broke the Rangers' spirit a little bit with that 3-game sweep, because it does put the Rangers significantly back in the division and, close to. But as Michael Corleone said in The Godfather Part 2, our true enemy has yet to reveal himself. And our true enemy is, of course, the Houston Astros. So I'm very pleased with the sweep of the Rangers. I want to get through this road trip, and then there's a series against Houston in Seattle, I believe, and that's going to be an important one. So let's just keep a level head. We are only about 74 games through the seasons. This must be episode 74. I apologize, fans. But anyway, we need to keep a cool head. Mariners are cooking right now, cooking with gas. So let's keep adding fuel to that fire as the season goes on. And the next team up could be a big challenge for the Mariners, because they will be facing the American League Central Division leaders, Cleveland Guardians, who are a really good ball club. Mariners already saw them once this year. I believe they won 1 of 2 at home against Cleveland. It was very early. Anyway, we've got a 3-gamer. It's going to be coming to us from Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. 6:40 Eastern start will be Game 1 on Tuesday, tomorrow night. You can catch it on Bally Sports Great Lakes, or, of course, Root Sports Northwest. Guardians are also on WTAM 1100 and WMMS 100.7, the Guardians Radio Network, and WARF 1350. The Mariners are only ever on Cairo 710 because that's all you need, because that's where you have Rick Riz, and he's the best in the business. All right. Game 1 pitchers, it's going to be Bryce Miller, the righty, Big Tex, as he's known. He's 5-5 with a 3.48 ERA and 80 Ks on the season. He'll be going up against Tristan McKenzie, right-hander, 6'5", 165 pounds. He's a beanpole, 26 years old. 3-3, 4.1 ERA, 65 Ks on the season. It doesn't appear that the Guardians have any at-bats whatsoever against Miller. However, some of the Mariners have faced McKenzie. Haniger has 8 at-bats. He's batting .375. Crawford has 6 at-bats. He's batting .333 against Mr. McKenzie. In Game 2, we've got Tanner Bibee, or Bibee, B-I-B-E-E, 25-year-old from Mission Viejo, California. Somebody else in the league is from Mission Viejo, California. Can't remember who it is. He's 4-2 on the season with a 3.94 ERA, 14 starts, 87 strikeouts, and 75 innings pitched, and a 1.17 WHIP. Pretty good numbers there, Mr. Bibee or Bibee. He'll be going up against Mariners right-handed rookie or young sensation Brian Wu, who's 3-0 on the year with a 1.07 ERA and 24 Ks. We really hope Brian makes this start. He missed one, maybe two starts recently, hopefully for rest. He didn't go on the IL or he didn't go down to Tacoma. And that's all well and good. But I want to see that start. That's also going to be 6:40 Eastern on the 19th of June. That's the Wednesday nighter. And then the final game of the series on Thursday afternoon, 1:10 p.m. Eastern. It'll be The Rock, La Pietra, Luis Castillo with 6-7, 3.32, 92 Ks. He's the man. He'll be going up against LT Allen, or Logan Allen, 25-year-old, 7-3 this year, 5.3 ERA, 14 starts, 57 strikeouts in 69 innings pitched, and a 1.49 whip. This is why pitching wins don't really make sense, because Logan Allen, he's won 7 games, but his numbers are not anywhere. I'm just saying, you got a 1.5 whip, a 5.3 ERA, and you won 7 games. Good for you. Anyway, the Guardians are super, super good. Let's talk a little bit about their lineup. So in alphabetical order, they've got Gabriel Arias. What the heck position does he play? Third base, Gabriel Arias. Brennan in right field, Will Brennan. Tyler Freeman, center fielder. Left fielder, David Fry. Austin Hedges, catcher. Andres Jimenez, second baseman. Stephen Kwan, left field. Let's talk Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan, and I don't say this because he has, he's from Los Gatos, California, but he's Asian American. He's the closest thing to Ichiro in the league outside of Luis Ariz. And by that I mean he is a contact, bat-to-ball, slow-swinging, beautiful hitter. The way the guy gets the shortest little swing, bat to the ball, and he's a lefty, and he does a high right leg kick, and he's already on first base by the time you could think about it. He had 4 hits against the Blue Jays last night in a losing cause. I love Stephen Kwan, and he plays a nice left field. I don't want him to do well against the Mariners, but I love Stephen Kwan. Kyle Manzardo, first base. Bo Naylor, Josh Naylor, Canadians, catcher and first base respectively. Rocchio, shortstop. I think he hit a home run against the Jays. Brian Rocchio. He's got very sleepy eyes. Then there's Joe Rodriguez, Jonathan Rodriguez. A lot of Jonathans in the league this year. And new guy, Daniel Schneemann, who looked pretty good against the Jays last night. Anyway, Cleveland is a scrappy ball club, and I guess based on what I'm seeing, Jose Ramirez is hurt right now, perhaps, which is good news for the Mariners because Jose Ramirez is probably the best player in the major leagues, and he's criminally underrated. I don't like Cleveland. I just think they have a great team. And all their 44-24, 25 record, the first place in the American League Central, all that's without Shane Bieber, who had Tommy John in the second week of the year, and I thought he was kind of their best pitcher. Anyway, the Mariners are in tough. It's a 3-gamer. It's on the road. We've got Miller, Wu, and Castillo going. Let's get after it. Let's see what the heck happens. Okay, moving on. Section 3 of this show. We've got to bring you the scores from Sunday. So let's take a look at what matters to the Mariners. Astros beat the Tigers 4-1. Boo. Blue Jays beat the Guardians 7-6. Interesting. Dodgers beat the Royals 3-0. That's good. Giants beat the Angels 13-6. That's okay. Red Sox beat the Yankees 9-3. Twins beat the Athletics. That's less good. And they beat the Athletics again. So they beat the Athletics 6-2 in the first game, and then they had a makeup game, which they won 8-7. Elsewhere in the league, National League, Brewers over the Reds 5-4. Mets over the Padres 11-6. Orioles over the Phils 8-3. Cards over the Cubs 2-1. Rays over the Braves 8-6. Nationals over the Marlins 3-1. So that concludes your scores from Sunday. Good thing the Mariners won because the teams that they're sort of in tough with also won. Now, let's look at the standings before we say goodnight, starting with the Hogs in the Hog division of the American League East. That division is led by the New York Yankees, who sit at 50-24. .676 winning percentage. They are 1.5 games up on the Baltimore Orioles. Have the same number of losses as the Orioles. So that is a closer thing than you might imagine. The Yankees are 5-5 in their last 10. The Orioles are 8-2. The Yanks have a plus 124 differential. Orioles have a plus 114 differential. Both outstanding. Starting to create some separation in third place is the Boston Red Sox, 38-35. 11.5 games back of the division. 6-4 in their last 10, plus 42 in the differential category. The Jays sit fourth, 35-37, minus 35 on the differential, 5-5 in their last 10. A big giant shoulder shrug and a meh of a season for the Toronto Blue Jays, if I say so myself. Tampa Bay, last place in the division, 34-38, minus 71 on the differential. Has the magic ended in Tampa? Anyway, whatever. Next up for these guys, Yanks in Baltimore. Baltimore's in New York. Should be a great series. Red Sox are in Toronto, and the Rays are at Minnesota. So all impactful games, all interesting for the Mariners' perspective. American League Central, most surprising division in the league thus far this year, still led by the Cleveland Guardians, 44-25, as I said earlier, but they are 5-5 in their last 10, and their differential is plus 86. The Royals sit in second place, 5 games behind, 41-32. They struggled since they played well against the Mariners. They've been 4-6 in their last 10, plus 61 on the differential. Minnesota Twins, hot on their heels, half game back of the Royals and 5.5 back of the Guardians. They are 40-32, 7-3 in their last 10. They won 5 in a row, and they're plus 16 on the differential. This team has gone on a lot of winning streaks this year, but also a lot of losing streaks. They're not very good on the road. They're 500 on the road, and they are 12-21 against teams over 500. Tigers in fourth place, 34-38, minus 4 on the differential. And then the worst team in baseball, 19-54, the Chicago White Sox are, with a minus 155 run differential. That is the largest plus or minus total on the differential scale anywhere in baseball. And God bless them, they are hosting Houston. So go White Sox. Tigers are at Atlanta. Twins are hosting Tampa. Royals are in Oakland. And, of course, the Guardians are hosting the Seattle Mariners. Now, in the most important division, the only division that really matters, the Seattle Mariners in the American League West lead the division with a 43-31 record. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They have a plus 19 run differential. And they are 8.5 games up on the Texas Rangers, who are 33-38. With a minus 5 differential. Houston sits right behind the Rangers, 33-39, 9 back in the Mariners, plus 4 on the differential, 5-5 in their last 10. The Angels are in fourth place, 28-43, sliding towards irrelevance, minus 74 on the run differential. And the Oakland Athletics have established themselves in the cellar position of the American League West Division, 26-48, minus 92 on the run differential, 1-9 in their last 10. They've lost 9 in a row. So Seattle's at Cleveland. The Rangers are hosting the Mets. Houston's at Chicago White Sox. The Angels are hosting Milwaukee, and the Athletics are hosting Kansas City. All right, in the venerable and ancient National League, in the Eastern Division, the Philadelphia Phillies have a 48-24 record, a plus 103 differential. They are 8 games up on the Braves, who are 39-31, plus 38 on the differential. The Nationals are in third place, 35-36. Minus 9 on the differential, 8-2 in their last 10, very respectable. The New York Mets just behind the Nationals, 33-37, minus 18 on the differential, also 8-2 in their last 10. The Miami Marlins heading in the other direction, they are 23-49, 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost 6 in a row, and their differential is minus 117. Don't make any mistake, they are a bad team, and I picked them to make the playoffs. The NL Central Division is still led by the Milwaukee Brewers, 42-29, 6-4 in their last 10, plus 36 on the differential. This division is totally weird because they lead it, and then the other 4 teams just shuffle around, basically around 500. So it's St. Louis 36-35, Pittsburgh 35-37, Chicago Cubs 34-38. The Reds are now last in the division again with 34-38 record. All of them are very close to the National League wildcard for what it's worth. And the Reds are the only one of those teams with a positive run differential despite sitting last in the division. So the Cards in second place, minus 37. Then the Pirates, minus 25. The Cubs, minus 17. And the Reds, plus 10. Interesting, right? I wrote the Pirates off for dead, but since they called up that Paul Skeens guy, they've been doing good, eh? Anyway, not to forget about the NL West. It's still led by the LA Dodgers, 44-29. Second place, Padres, 37-39. Arizona Diamondbacks, 34-37. Giants, 34-37. Rockies, 25-46. So the Pods are +9, the Diamondbacks are +3, and the Giants are -24. That team is also, all three of those teams, not the Rockies, but the other three, are half a game out of the NL wildcard. So there's like 6 teams within a game and a half of the NL wildcard. It really should be very interesting. And actually the Nationals and the New York Mets are in that same category. So there's like 8 teams fighting for basically 2 wildcard spots right now. The Braves have a bit of daylight, but otherwise fascinating stuff in the National League. Okay, this one went a bit long, but we hope you enjoyed it anyway, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow to... No, tomorrow's our off day. So we'll be back on Wednesday recapping Tuesday's Game 1 between the Guards and the M's in Cleveland, and business will proceed apace from there. Thank you as always for listening. Have a good night.